So you're doing cold outreach for your agency or SaaS. You're sending the DMs, you're sending the cold emails, you're doing the volume, everything your guru told you to do, and it's just not working. Either A, nobody's responding to you, or B, and even worse, they're booking a call and then they just ghost or don't show up to the call, and you're left there on the call looking like an idiot because you believe that they were actually going to show up when in reality they were never going to. And look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that cold outreach is my absolute favorite thing in the world. I have better, different ways to get clients. But as a beginner, without the resources that I currently have and the audience that I've worked really hard to build, I also had to start in your shoes of doing cold outreach. And that's actually how I got to my first $30,000 a month in my agency, mainly through cold outreach with some twists that I'm going to share in this video. So what we're going to cover is exactly why your cold outreach isn't working right now, the 3 reasons you're getting ignored, ghosted, and no-showed, and more importantly, how to fix all of them. Because here's the truth, there are people that build multi-million-dollar businesses just off of cold outreach. It works, you just have to do it the right way.
$22 million in 3 fucking hours!
And by the end of this video, you're gonna know exactly what those people are doing that you're not, and how to get it done. Oh, and by the way, I get 5 to 10 cold DMs every single day, so I have a lot of material to work with. So I'm gonna be using those as examples in this video, and maybe somebody watching this is gonna see their DM come up. All right, so before we get into the 3 mistakes, there's one sentence around cold outreach that you have to understand. If you don't understand this, none of this is gonna work. And the sentence is, people simply do not buy things from strangers on the internet. They don't. Think about it. When was the last time you made an important buying decision because somebody randomly DM'd you and you were just like, yeah, you know what? I do want to give this person $2,000 even though I know nothing about them. Never. You've never done that. And the business owners that you want to work with also do not do that. Now, in that sentence, there is one key word, which is the word stranger. The key is to not be a stranger. And if you fix these 3 mistakes that I'm about to show you, you will go from being a stranger to being a friend, which makes literally all the difference in the world. It changes everything. So with that in mind, mistake number 1, no social presence whatsoever. Let's say you run a lead gen agency for contractors. Your outreach message is actually really good and you've worked pretty hard on it. But when you send it, the contractor that actually opens the DM clicks to your Instagram or whatever profile you use, and they see 50 followers, 0 posts, a bio that says something like helping contractors scale, and that's it. So what are they thinking when they click there? Who is this person? Have they actually ever done what they're talking about? And how can I trust them because I can't even see their face in the picture? And this happens to me all the time. The pictures are ridiculous looking. Let's look at some examples from my Instagram. This guy, I actually really like his message. Fake compliment, fake compliment. He follows a lot of the principles that I'm going to cover in the next 2. But when I click to his profile, this is what I have. 5,000 probably fake followers, 1 post, entrepreneur and copywriter, and no website. I was actually quite convinced from your message, but clicking here, I'm not going to work with you because I don't know who you are. I just have no idea if you are who you say you are. And this guy, when I click to his profile, he looks like he's literally 12 years old. And that's no hate, like awesome for getting yourself out there. I understand, but if you're selling to business owners that are 30, 40, 50 years old, and you look like you're younger than 18 years old, you need to be saying some really compelling stuff and have a lot of proof because you're instantly disqualified by the way that you look. And I'm not trying to be harsh with that. It's just the reality. So if you're really young watching this, try not to make your face the main thing that people are saying because you look too damn young. And that's not working for you. In most cases, it's working against you. All right, so that's a mistake. And obviously the fix is actually having some social content, people being able to learn a little bit more about you. And this guy's doing a good job. Like I can see, okay, he's got a face. He doesn't look like he's 12 years old, and he's mixing personal content and business content, which I always recommend. All right, so that's what not to do. Now, what should you do? The lowest hanging fruit is your picture and your bio. I recommend that the picture is your face close up so they can see who you are. If you're really young, try to make yourself look older in the picture. Now, your bio, you should spend a lot of time on. And if you don't have results or proof that you can put in the bio yet, that's fine. Just make sure that it's not super generic. Call out the name of the business and have a link to something. It literally takes 30 minutes to set up a website nowadays. Even if your website's complete trash, it doesn't make any sense. You can vibe code a website in 30 minutes. You don't have to spend a ton of time on that, but at least have something that people can check out. You could literally have the domain and just say, this is under construction, site coming soon. And that is better than nothing. Now, when it comes to the actual posts and what to put in them, this is a question I get most often from beginners. Like, I just don't know what to post about. This is what I recommend. Take one day, take a break from messaging everybody and say, I'm going to make my Instagram or my Facebook or my LinkedIn or whatever profile beautiful so that when people land on it, they feel like I'm more legit. So make a week, 2 weeks, a month's worth of content, whatever you feel like you can manage, and do a mix and just get over the hurdle of making something. So make some carousels, make a few reels or short form content, make a long form video, just get everything filmed or created and just start. You'll get better at content over time. You'll understand what to make. But if you have nothing, you're just not going to get as many responses. All right. Mistake number 2, you are trying to get them onto the sales call right away. Massive mistake. For 2 reasons. Number 1, it's 2026. Nobody, and I mean nobody, wants to get on a sales call. They just don't want to be put into a high pressure sales environment when they have no idea if you're legit or not. And even if it's just like a 15-minute chat, they still have to interrupt their entire day. And a lot of you are young. You don't understand the demands of having kids, having an actual real running business, all this stuff. People are busy. They don't want to get on a sales call. And the second reason that it's a mistake is that if somebody agrees to get on a sales call with you right out of the gate with no context, you probably don't want to work with them. And number 2, you don't want to waste your time on a sales call if they were never going to buy anyway. And you'll find the people that agree to sales calls right out of the gate usually aren't the most successful business owners and don't have the money to pay for what you're trying to sell. What's the solution? You need to get them to a point where they're so interested that they ask you to book a call. You never ask for the call. You're cool as a cucumber. You don't need a call. They ask for the call.
Ooh, Keaton, this is interesting. How?
By demonstrating that you actually know what you're talking about. In simpler terms, demonstrating expertise. So instead of saying something like, hey, I help attorneys generate more 5-star Google reviews, would that be of interest? You want to book a call, worth a chat, any of those endings, you say, hey, I help attorneys generate more 5-star reviews on Google. I filmed this video that shows you exactly how it works. And then here's the little trick. This is a nugget. You send it natively in the platform. So don't send a Loom video, don't send a YouTube link, literally take your phone out and record yourself like pointing things out on your screen, like you're just recording a simple video for a friend, and then send that in Instagram DMs, for example, so people don't have to click out of the platform. You're going to get a much higher actual watch rate on the video if you do that. When it's an external link, people get weirded out and it's just more friction to getting them to actually watch. So you want to remove as much of that friction as possible. And it also forces you to keep the video short. So you can say something like, hey, I help attorneys get more 5-star reviews on Google. I noticed you guys might need help with this. I filmed a video. It takes 90 seconds that shows you how it works. This means that people can consume what you're trying to offer them in all those little in-between moments in their day. So they don't have to block out all this stuff. It doesn't feel like this big commitment. And if you're compelling enough in your little 90-second video, then they're going to say, hey, tell me more about this. How does this work? How does this work? And then they ask eventually to book a call because they actually are convinced that it's worth blocking some time out for that. And because they've watched your video, they're actually going to show up to the call. Shocker. Now, this is not the only way. Remember, the mistake is just asking for the sales call right away. You could also do a couple other different things. A research-based one is really cool. So you say something like, hey, I'm doing research on the concrete lifting industry, and I just had one quick question for you. It really means a lot to me if you respond. What's your ideal customer? Just send that out. If they respond, they respond. If they don't, they don't. But if they respond to that one, you say, oh, that's actually super interesting. That's not matching up with what other people have said, or that is matching up with what other people have said. I actually made this video about how I help concrete lifting companies do that. Boom, mind blown. Or another thing that my friend does is he just reaches out like a friend. He's like, hey, thanks for adding me. Like if they were on Facebook, for example, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, whatever the most recent thing is, and just wait to see if they respond and then take it from there. Or sometimes he'll ask what software they use. Hey, are you still using Service Titan for XYZ in your business? And just see if they respond. Carry on the conversation from that. It's a business related discussion, which you can eventually lead into what you do. You're starting out in a very non-threatening way and not asking a stranger to get on a call with you when they know nothing about you. And this brings us to mistake number 3, my personal least favorite, making the other person think too much. I see this one all the time, and there's a million ways that you do this. So really go through your whole process and audit and think, where can I take more of the responsibility and work off of this person's plate and instead do it myself? But here's some examples. This guy messages me, I'd like to put an offer together for you for something pretty dang badass. However, I can't really afford upfront money to vet product and create media promoting it. Would I be wasting my time if I put an offer letter together for you? If anything, we can do affiliate percentage plus the first X in sales to cover the upfront cost. What? And then he says, is it worth my time? I won't be lazy about it, but if you don't do it without upfront, kindly let me know so I can save hours and hours. I have no idea. I literally have zero idea if this would be of interest to me because you've been as vague as humanly possible. This is a real DM that I got, and you guys send this kind of shit all the time. I see it. I get stuff like, I have an idea that would help your company. Check our product out. I would love to partner with you. Check out our site and let me know what you think. Worth a chat? Hey, here's this thing. Worth a chat? Here's this thing. Worth a chat? You're basically saying, hey, you want to do some unpaid research? Oh, does that sound interesting to you? Anybody that's getting any volume of DMs, which successful business owners are, will see right through this, and they're just busy. So what do you do instead? Well, you have to put yourself in the shoes of the business owner that's super busy, getting all these DMs, getting a ton of pitches all the time. You say something like, I have this thing that does this outcome. I think it would be perfect for your business, but I know that vetting somebody, especially someone like me, that's reaching out to you through DMs is nearly impossible. So what I've done is I've filmed this, again, quick video for you to check out, or I have this doc that explains it. It takes 2 minutes to read, it takes 2 minutes to watch, and I think we could get you XYZ result based on the research that I've done on your business. The most important thing that you can be in marketing is different, and you need to learn how to articulate that you are different from your competitors. So you'll notice that I'm not providing like an exact script here. It's because these principles are all meant to like lead you to one spot, which is being a human being. Like just reach out. Like you didn't just copy something from ChatGPT, and you actually thought about the business owner and their life for 3 seconds before you decided to DM them, which 99% of people don't do. And I promise you, the more human you are, the more responses you're going to get. And you show that humanness and that you're like a smart, likable person that they want to do business with by having a social profile that they can check out, not trying to get them on a sales call right away because you understand that you are not their highest priority in life. And thirdly, taking as much of the work off of their plate, the work required specifically to vet you, making that as easy as possible. That's going to increase your sales because that's the question that they're really thinking in their mind. Like, I don't know if this person is legit. So make it easy for them to see if you're legit. If you even apply 10% of this, I promise you it'll improve the results of your cold outreach. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in the next one.